Welcome back, guys. Our last class of 2020, a crazy year. This particular class, some of you who were in studio would have done similar stuff to this. Our online yogis, this might be something new, but we're going to be working towards a specific pose. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You'll see it when we get there. Don't freak out, please. Yeah, there'll be steps along the way for everyone. There'll be a version of this for everyone. So we'll get started. Come to a comfortable seat. Close down your eyes. A little bit of length through the spine. Start to feel the air moving in and out of your belly. In Vinyasa, we want to move with the breath. Move with that flow. This is where we started. It starts gentle. It starts to build as we build heat in the body. Your eyes closed down. Gently start to drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Left fingertips towards the earth, just inviting a little length into the left side of the neck. Keep the breath moving, just as fluid as it was when you were still. Crown of your head back towards center, left ear towards your left shoulder, right fingertips towards the earth. Slowly back towards center. Take the back of your right hand to just above your right hip. Grab a hold of that right elbow with your left hand. Gently start to move that elbow forward, but keep the shoulder hugging back. We're creating this internal rotation through the right shoulder. And if you can, try and hug the shoulder blades towards each other while that elbow moves forward. Take one more breath. Release that right hand, left hand to your left hip. Grab a hold of that left elbow with the right hand. Gently move it forward. Keep the shoulder moving back. Don't let it round over too much. A little bit's okay, but keep it moving back in space. Start to release. Bring your hands down on the mat. Come into a figure 4 shape. We'll move through a few cat-cows just to warm up through the spine. So as you breathe in, head comes up, hips come up, drop the belly. Push the ground away, tuck the chin, tuck the hips. So breathe out, head up, hips up, breathe in. Tuck it underneath, squeeze all of that air out. A few more like this. Move with the pace of your breath. So if you're breathing slow, move slow. If you're breathing a little quicker, that's fine too. Just move at that pace. Have these movements fit into your breath. One more round. Slow, fluid. Keep the hands really active. On your next breath in, move towards a neutral spine. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. As you breathe out, now you can pedal out the legs, especially if it's kind of the first moving you're doing throughout the day. Yeah, you can see even as India is pedaling out her legs, there's still this V shape through her hips. The sitting bones are still going up towards the sky. We want to avoid this rounding through the lower back in this U shape. Yeah, we want to think V. So push the ground away, start to take your chest towards your feet. Don't be afraid to bend your knees. Once you've taken all of those mindful little movements, you can find some stillness, let this shape land. Strength in the upper half, length through the lower. Take one more round of breath. Start to walk your feet towards your hands. Take as many steps as you need. There is no rush, but when you land there, land a ragdoll forward fold. Just the same as the down dog, you want the sitting bones spinning up, length through the hamstrings. Let the head, the chest, the shoulders hang heavy towards the earth. Every time you breathe in, maybe you notice that belly expanding onto the thigh. When you breathe out, maybe you sink down into that space. One more breath out. Really slowly start to come up to standing. Take your time. One vertebrae stack on top of the other. When you get there, take a breath in. Roll the shoulders back as you breathe out. Start to ground down through the right foot. Left knee is going to lift up. Stork pose. Breathe in. Just a couple breaths here to catch the balance on this long, strong, straight line. One more inhale. Start to externally rotate that left knee. Come into tree pose as you breathe out. Now you notice here, India's foot is high up on the inside of her right thigh. That foot can be on the thigh, it can be on the calf, or you can be using it as a little kickstand as long as you're not jamming it into the inside of your knee. Take one more breath out. Back through stork, so lift that left knee back up, use that hip compression, drop the foot to the earth as you breathe out, straight away other side. Left foot grounds, right knee lifts, breathing. Again, catching the balance here, that long line, belly button in towards spine. Start to externally rotate on your next breath out. So don't worry if that foot doesn't get all the way up to the inner thigh, calf, kickstand, wherever you need it. Be there. One more breath out. Back up through stork, breathe in. Drop the foot down as you breathe out. Start to walk your feet a little wider, turn the toes out. Take a breath out here. Come to a high malasana as you breathe in. You can have your hands out in front. This is where we're going to start and end this first little flow. Take one more breath in here. Sink down to a regular depth malasana. Yeah? Both of these may not be as deep as India. Yeah? You could be up here for your high malasana, here for your low malasana. It's fine. Just have two different depths. Take one more breath out here. Right foot stays forward. Step the left foot back. Easy twist. Breathe in. So the left hand is down. Right arm lifts. Now the first time through we'll set these up. So if you need to look up and see what shape India's in, that's fine. Go for it. But here we're pushing down through the left hand, lifting up through the right. Take one more big breath in. Start to straighten through that front leg. Pyramid. Breathe out. Right hand comes to the earth. Here, that right hip crease is pulling back in space. Chest towards the top. Trying to keep the hips relatively square. Take one more breath out. Fingertip lunge, breathe in, sink the hips down and forward. Now you can do this whole thing with your back knee on the ground if you need to. Take one more big breath in. Step the left foot forward, malasana, breathe out. High malasana, breathe in. Sink it back down. This is going to be some work for the legs. Step the right foot back, easy twist. Breathe in, lift the left hand up. Again, you can take this whole thing with your back knee down on the ground if you need to. Yeah, there's always modifications, always variations for wherever you're at in your practice, and remember that is your practice. Take one more breath in. Start to straighten through that left leg. Pyramid or half Hanuman. Notice how India is keeping her back knee on the ground, but even so, that hip crease is still pulling back in space. Yeah, we're lengthening through this front hamstring, so all we're trying to do is take the sitting bones away from the back of the knee. As long as these two things are going in different directions, you're going to get lengthening through that hamstring. If you want a little more, you can flex the toes. Take one more breath out. Fingertip lunge, breathe in, sink the hips down and forward. Again, you can do this with the knee on the ground. Or lift it. Yeah, but think about broadening through the collarbones. Take one more breath in. Step that right foot forward, malasana, breathe out. We'll take a second here. This is where we're going to start. We're going to move through one breath, one movement. As I said before, if you're a little faster or a little slower on that breath, move at that pace. Have the movements fit into the breath. We'll take a breath out. Lift up, high malasana, breathe in. Sink it back down, breathe out. The right foot's going to stay forward. Easy twist. Left foot back, right arm up, breathe in. Straighten through that right leg, breathe out. Sink the hips down and forward, fingertip lunge, open up through the chest on the inhale. Step that left foot up, malasana, breathe out. High malasana in, legs are going to be burning, sink back down, breathe out. Step the right foot back, easy twist, inhale, make sure that right hand is grounded as you lift up. Straighten through the left leg, this hip crease goes back in space. Fingertip lunge, sink the hips down and forward, breathe in. Step up, malasana, breathe out. High malasana in, we're going to go through one more time either side. Sink it down, breathe out. Keep the right foot forward, left foot back, easy twist, inhale, lift up with that right hand. Straighten through the right leg, it doesn't have to be perfectly straight, just moving that way. Fingertip lunge, breathe in, hips down and forward. Step the left foot up, malasana, breathe out. Lift up, that high malasana in. Getting a little eager, that's fine, sink down, breathe out. Now we step the right foot back, easy twist, inhale. Send that left hip crease back in space, chest towards toes. Fingertip lunge, breathe in, open up through those collarbones. Step up, malasana, breathe out. Now come to a high malasana in. Plant the hands, step back to a high plank. Breathe out. We're not going to be here for too long. Again, you can be down on the knees. Yeah, building the strength through the core, through the shoulders. One more breath out. Shift the weight forward, drop the knees if you haven't already. Lower down through chaturanga. This first one, we're just going to take a baby cobra, breathe in. Lower down, breathe out. This next one, you can stay with that baby cobra or you can push up to an up dog. If you're there, the thighs are off the earth. Downward facing, breathe out. Really, really nice job. We're going to move into our next little flow. We'll take a second here in this down dog, those sitting bones spinning up. It's active resting. So there's still work to be had here. We're using it as an opportunity to reset the breath. And a little stillness throughout all this movement. Take a breath out. Start to lift the right heel up towards the sky. Tiger curl, so bring your knee to your nose as you breathe out. Lift it back up one more time. Inhale. Tiger curl. Breathe out. Step between your hands. Crescent lunge. I'm not going to talk too much to the back leg here, but what we do want is the belly button in towards the spine no matter where you are. We want this lower back to be neutral. Take one more big breath in. Keep this right knee where it is. Warrior 2, breathe out. Now if you're somebody who naturally has a bit of an arch in their lower back like India does, you're going to have to work extra hard here to tuck that tailbone under. Make sure the weight is going down and back to the blade edge of that left foot. One more breath out. Reverse warrior, breathe in. Extended side angle as you breathe out. So notice India brought her right elbow to her right knee, but she's not taking weight into it. It's just there as a guide to help spin the chest open. Take one more breath out. Start to bring that left hand behind you. We're going towards a bind. Now you can bring that hand like India has to the inside of the thigh. Or if you want to come into the full bind, you can bring the right arm under. Clasp your hands behind your back. Take one more breath in. Straighten through that right leg. Breathe out. Start to release the hands. Lift the right arm forward, offering, breathe in. Plant the hands, chaturanga, breathe out. Up dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Now you can always skip that little flow. You can always come straight back to a downward facing dog if you want to. Left heel rises up, breathe in. Knee towards the nose as you breathe out. Take it back up one more time. Try and keep the hips square. Knee to nose. Breathe out. Step between your hands. Find that crescent lunge. Now there's always work to be found. All these little stabilizing muscles balance in every single posture. Imagine the lower half, hips down, is heavy, sinking into the earth. Hips up is weightless. Take the belly button in. One more inhale. Warrior 2, breathe out. Virabhadrasana 2. That blade edge on the right foot is heavy, grounding down, pushing into the earth. The left toes, the left knee are in line. Not here for too long. Relax the shoulders. One more breath. Reverse warrior, lengthen through that left side body. Extended side angle, breathe out. Notice there is this straight line from that right outer edge, up the leg, through the side body, through the right fingertips. Take one more breath out. Start to take that right hand behind. Either grab the thigh or you can come into the full bind. Again, there's lots of different variations here. Take one more breath in. Start to straighten through that left leg as you breathe out. It doesn't need to be perfectly straight. Lift the left arm up, offering triangle, breathe in. Plant the hands, chaturanga or straight back to downward facing. Up dog, down dog. We're going to flow this through one breath, one movement. Again, you do not have to take the full bind. Yeah, you can just bring that hand behind your back. There's options for everyone. Take a breath out. Start to lift that right heel up on the in. Just one tiger curl. Squeeze the air out. Step between your hands. Crescent lunge. Rise up. Breathe in. Warrior 2. Breathe out. Keep that right knee forward. Reverse. Lift up. Breathe in. Extended side angle. Reach with the left arm. Take the bind on the breath in, open up through the chest, straighten through that right leg as you breathe out. Keep that length through the hamstring, reach up with the right hand, then plant the hands as you breathe out. Chaturanga or straight back to down dog. This is our Vinyasa flow. It is always optional. I meet everyone at down dog. Lift the left heel up. Use the whole breath in, moving slow. Bring your knee to your nose. Crescent lunge, rise up. Warrior 2 as you breathe out, stay deep in the legs, reverse warrior. Extended side angle, breathe out. Start to move towards that bind, maybe it's just the hand behind, breathe in. Straighten through that front leg as you breathe out. Offering, lift up the left arm, working the obliques here. Plant the hands. Your flow. But no matter where you are, keep the elbows hugging in, keep the core engaged. Down dog, breathe out. We flow through one more time. Lift the right heel. Inhale. Knee towards your nose. Breathe out. Step between the hands. Crescent. Rise up slowly when you get to the edge. Warrior 2. All of these movements are starting to flow together. Reverse. Reach up. Extended side angle. I don't know what that little spin is. Come towards a bind, breathe in, open up through the collarbones, then straighten through that right leg. Offering, reach forward with the right hand, then plant them down. Remember, flow through or straight back to downward facing. Everyone there on the breath out, one more time, left side, heel right. Tiger curl. Push the earth away. That's what's going to help you step through crescent lunge. Warrior 2, keep that left big toe mound heavy. Reverse, lengthen through the left side. Body extended, side angle. Remember, you're not taking weight into that left hand. Move towards the bind as you breathe in. Open up. Straighten through that left leg. Doesn't have to be perfectly straight. Offering triangle as you breathe in, then plant the hands down. Your flow. If you're in up dog, keep the thighs off the earth. Downward facing. Breathe out. Be here for a few breaths. You can stay in your down dog. You can drop your elbows and come into dolphin, or you can move towards a child's pose just for a few breaths. It's up to you, but find a place where you're getting the rest you feel you need. If you're like, no, I'm good, dolphin, go for it. No matter where you are, keep that breath moving really fluid. Just one more breath. Start to move back to down dog. If you're in dolphin, I want you to try and push up both arms at the same time. Awesome job. I'm assuming that you did it. No matter where you were, land in down dog, take a moment here. We're going to be moving towards an arm balance from downward facing dog. Coming into Vinyasa. So take a breath out. You can walk your hands or feet in closer towards each other if you need to. Start to lift the right leg as you breathe in. You're going to try and get that right knee as high up on the right tricep towards the armpit as you can. You bend through the arms. Chaturanga. Maybe you straighten through that leg. Maybe you use this left glute to lift that back leg. We have some time to play around with it, so if you want to try the right side again, you can. India's going to show you on the left. Heel rises, that knee is coming as high up on the tricep as you can. Bend through the knees. Maybe you straighten through both legs. Alright, we're going to work through it a little slower. We'll do it on the left side so you can see. India's going to be handing me after this. We're going to work really slowly. Yeah, the foot's going to come up. Take a breath in. Try and get that knee to the armpit. Yeah? This is a bus stop here. If you're here, amazing. Yeah? If you want to go further, start to straighten through the arms. Maybe you straighten that leg. Yeah? If that's where you stop, incredible. Or you use the glute to maybe lift that back leg. Awesome job, guys. The beauty of these online classes, if you're going to pause and play around with it, that is always an option. Cool. We'll go one more time on the other side. So if you've done right, left, you'll be on your left, but India's done right, left, so it's going to be right side, the heel rises. Try and get that knee as high up as you can. Chaturanga arms, that's what I want you to think. Elbows in, maybe you straighten the front leg, maybe you lift the back. Really, really nice job. Take a breath out here. Start to lift that right heel towards the sky. Knee to armpit as you breathe out. Step the foot outside of the hand. We're coming into a lizard lunge. There's been heaps of work, so drop your back knee. Even with that back knee down towards the earth, I still want you to think about sinking the hips down and forward and lengthen strength through that midsection, the trunk. Yeah? We want a bit of engagement through the core. We want to open up through the chest. Take a breath here. Start to gently allow those right toes to move out to the side with the right knee. Ground down through the left hand. Our first option is just encouraging that right knee out towards the side, yeah? We're getting into the adductors here just with that knee moving out. If you want to go further, you can start to lift the right arm up. Maybe you grab a hold of that left foot. It doesn't have to be in your elbow like this. But no matter where you are, think about letting the hips sink down and forward. Yeah, that's how we're going to open up through the front of this left leg, through the hip flexors, through the thigh. Make sure that left hand is grounded, the chest is spinning up. Just going to take one more breath. Slowly start to release that foot, hands back underneath shoulders, push back to a downward facing. Now the left heel rises. On a breath in, take the knee towards the armpit. Step to the outside of the hands. Drop the right knee down. And again here, even with that back knee down, start to let the hips sink down and fall. Keep the collarbones open. One more breath. Start to take the left toes, the left knee out towards the side, ground down that right hand again. The first step is just encouraging this leg out. If this is where you are, amazing. There's a lot to be gained from just opening up the adductors in the front of that right hip flex. If you want a little more, reach up, grab a hold of that right foot. Now we're getting a lot more into the thigh. But again, there is options for everyone. Chest is spinning open. Just 2 more breaths. Slowly start to release. Hands underneath shoulders, step back to a downward facing dog. Drop the knees, start to roll out the wrists. It's been a lot of work. Yeah, we're almost there. Start to move back towards a downward facing dog. Alright guys, we have made it. We are almost finally there to the pose we have been working towards. Bird of Paradise. So from here, start to lift the right heel up. Bring your knee towards your nose, step between your hands. Start to move towards an extended side angle. So you have warrior 2 feet. You're going to come towards that bind. Yeah, so the left hand behind, either grabbing the right thigh or grabbing a hold of your hands. From here, start to shuffle that left foot up until it's next to the right. Ground down the left foot, it's becoming your base. Start to rise up. If you stop here, amazing. If you stopped before you even lifted this foot up, also amazing. Maybe you start to straighten out that right leg. Whenever you want to come out, slowly bend the foot, bring it to your knee. Can you just stay up on top of your mat? Now I'm going to show you guys a different variation if you can't get into the bind. You're going to come through standing. Start to lift the right knee. Your left hand is going to come behind you and grab the inside of your thigh as that right knee starts to come out towards the side. Maybe you start to straighten through that right leg. Or not. Maybe you keep it bent. Yeah? But there is a variation for everyone. Yeah? Notice how India there grabbed the bottom of her right thigh with her right hand to help lift it up. So whether you want to come into the full bound variation or this variation, we're going to start to move to the left side. We'll just come into that extended side angle. Maybe you come into the bind, or maybe you start from that standing position. If you're coming into the full bound variation, the right foot is the base. Start to lift the left up. Yeah, you can stop here, you can stop anywhere along this little journey, and it's perfect. Yeah, you do not have to look like India in this shape. You do not have to look like anything. Yeah, but Bird of Paradise is what we have been opening the body to get ready for. Again, if you want to come It's the unbound variation. Coming up through stalk, right hand behind you, grabbing the inside of the left. When you have finished on both sides, we'll meet in a forward fold at the top of the mat. You can pedal out the legs, you can shake the arms out, you can do whatever you need to do to feel the release. Guys, unreal job. That is a tough pose. If you came into any variation, if you just gave it a shot, pat yourselves on the back. Thank you, India. We'll have one more breath out in this forward. Come to a halfway lift, create some length along the spine, plant your hands, step back to a high plank. Not here for very long, you've done enough. Shift the weight forward, you can drop your knees if you need to. Start to lower all the way down, hands by your sides. Done a lot of work to strengthen through the obliques, the sides of the abs. We're going to strengthen the back line. We're going to come into Shalabhasana or locust pose, so hands down by your side. First, we start to lift the head, the chest, the shoulders. Squeeze shoulder blades together. You can stop here, or you can start to lift the hands up, the feet. Just make sure the legs are hugging in towards each other, shoulder blades squeezing towards the midline. Think about taking the crown of your head away from your toes. Start crank through the neck. We want length. What we're basically doing is sit up for the lower back. If you want to interlace your fingers, you can. You can have your hands down by your sides. Again, there's a variation of this for everyone. Take one more breath in. Release down to the earth. Windscreen wipe of the hips. Release through the lower back. We're going to come into that one more time. Legs together, arms down by your sides, turn your palms over. Head, chest, shoulders lift as you breathe in. Start to rise up. Hands by your side, you can interlace them if you want, no matter where you are. Think everything hugging towards that midline. When you hug the legs together, you're protecting your SIJ, where your spine meets your hips. A little bit of core engagement, not so much that you can't breathe, but just protecting the lower back. Take one more in. Release down, breathe out. And turn the backs of your hands, your back palms, towards the earth. Let your shoulders round over. Notice what this feels like in your body. Notice if you can feel your heart beating on the mat. How your breath is moving your lower back up and down. Keep your head at this end of the mat. Start to roll onto your back. Bend through your right knee. Take your left ankle over that knee. Make sure these toes, the top ones, are flexed. Yeah, from here, either reach through, grab the thigh, or the shin on that right leg. Start to hug this package in towards your chest. We're opening up to the left out of here. Left glute. Yeah, and by flexing these toes on the top foot, you're going to protect that left knee. Try and keep your shoulders heavy to the earth. Hips on the ground. Two more breaths. Gently start to release. We're going to switch over sides. That right ankle over the left knee. Flex the right toes now. Grab the left shin or the left thigh. Again, there's always variation. Start to hug that package in towards the chest. Play with the breath here as you breathe in. Feel that midsection get bigger. As you breathe out, maybe this package moves in a little closer. Start to release. Hug both knees into your chest, rock and roll up and down your spine until you come to a seat. Can you face the front? Start to bring your left leg out long. The right sole of your foot to the inside of the left leg. First, we're going to start to spin the chest to face that right knee. The left arm is going to come to the inside of the left leg, reach up and over with that right hand. Try and keep this right hip really heavy so we can create as much length as possible from this right hip to the right armpit, lengthening through all of this right side body. Keep the chest spinning open. We want to avoid here trying to reach down to that foot and curling over through the spine. We want to keep this twisting open, this lengthening through that whole right side. Slowly start to bring that right hand down behind the right hip. Flash dance, lift the hips up, reach back with that left hand. Little engagement through the belly, but expand. One more big breath in. Drop your hips to the earth, switch over sides. Right arm to the inside of your right leg, chest faces that left knee, the left arm reaches past the right foot. I don't want you to think about reaching that right foot, then we can sometimes get that rounding through the spine. We want to reach past it. Keep the chest spinning open, lengthen through the left side. Keep breathing space in those intercostal muscles in between the ribs, the obliques. One more inhale. Plant that left hand behind the left hips, flash dance, open up. Send the hips forward, send the chest up, send that right arm reaching back. Drop the hips down. Send both legs out wide. Lift up through the crown of the head. If you're rounding through your lower back, you can bring your feet in a little closer or bend through the knees, or you can sit up on a block or a prop if you have it. Take a breath in for that length and start to gently fold forward. You do not have to come to the depth that India is at. You could be sitting up straight, you could be moving a few inches towards the earth. Wherever you are is perfect. But if you can, try and keep the toes up towards the sky. Continue to have that fluid in and out. One more breath. Slowly start to lift back up, bring both legs together. Paschimottanasana. Two options. The first one, the active variation, length through the spine. Think sitting bones going back. You can have a bend through your knees here, but what we're trying to do is take the chest towards the toes. When you think chest towards toes, that's going to help keep the lower back straight. You can flex those toes if you'd like. Send the big toe mounds forward. This is really active. If you want the passive variation, You're going to sit up, slouch over, no muscular engagement. Just bring your chin towards your chest. You could feel this anywhere from the bottom of your skull, down your back, down the back of your legs to the soles of your feet. A lot of the time you feel the sensation in this passive variation where you need to. Don't be afraid to try both. Choose which is best for you. Just a few more breaths. Slowly start to roll down onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. You can roll up and down, side to side. Keep your right knee hugging in, send your left leg long. Allow that right knee to move over to the left side. Now, I don't know if you noticed what India just did. She adjusted her hips towards the right. By doing that, she's keeping that left leg and her spine in a long straight line. The shoulders are heavy. Think about forcing this twist. Just shoulders heavy to the ground, let the right knee fall wherever it needs to. Then allow this rinsing through the spine. Breath moving, keep it fluid even now. And at this point in class, these long, slow holds. And it is common that this is where the mind starts to run away. You always have that anchor, that breath, to bring your awareness back. When you're ready, gently move back to center. You can give both the knees another big loving hug in. Send the right leg long, hips towards the left, that left knee towards the right side. Shoulders stay heavy. My favorite visual for these twists is like wringing out a sponge. Letting go of whatever you're holding on to. Whatever needs to move in can. One more full round of breath. Feel your belly expand at the end. Just a little more on the breath. Back towards center. Soles of your feet towards each other. Let your knees fall out wide. Supta Baddha Konasana now here. If you want it to be a little more restorative, you can bring your heels away from your hips. If you want more of an opening, keep them closed. Close your eyes. Bring your belly, your hands to your belly. Just feel it rise and fall. gravity draw the knees towards the earth. Breath be the anchor from any distraction. One more round here. When you're ready, send the legs out long. We land in Shavasana, our final resting pose. Take your time to land. Take your time to find this stillness. Your body heavy on the earth. To land, let go of the breath, let go of the practice, let go of everything else that you're holding on to. Bring some awareness back to your breath. To breathe life back into your body. Small movements in your fingers and your toes. Starts to grow as you roll over onto one side. Stay here as long as you need, but keep your eyes closed. When you're ready, start to move towards a comfortable seat. Once she lands there, your hands in Anjali Mudra, take a gentle bow of your head. Take a moment to acknowledge your practice, a moment of gratitude for what you were able to do, whatever you were able to do. Whatever you got on that journey towards our peak pose is exactly where you need to be. But as always, I leave you with what Maharaji left Ram Dass. Love everybody. Tell the truth. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you so much, guys, for joining us again. As we move into the new year, we have a lot of new cool stuff that we'll be keeping you updated on, so stay tuned.
We can't wait to see you guys soon. Happy New Year.
Thanks, guys.